Alright, in this problem it tells us to solve the equation. Reading from your notes, class. What was step number 1?
Rewrite that equation into a positive and negative equation.
So we're going to take the argument and we're going to make a positive. I'm using red, so it's hopefully really obvious, and one that's negative. Now, one thing I do want to note is, everyone say isolate. You want to isolate this absolute value. So if you have a different color pen, this is super helpful. The reason why is you get a visual. You do not want anything in front or behind this absolute value equation. Okay, so make sure it's isolated. This problem is isolated. So now I'm going to make the argument, if the argument is inside the absolute value, one positive. And I'm going to write equals 15. And then the other argument I'm going to put as a negative. So now you are splitting. You have two equations. Notice how you're going from this step has an absolute value, and here is the definition of the absolute value. Now there's actually two equations. Let's go ahead and solve those two equations, because that's step number 2, right? Class, do I need the parentheses here? No, so we can just rewrite it and solve it. I'll just add 3. Divided by 6. X is equal to 3. Purple. Now, on the other side, class, do I need the parentheses? Remember, if you're stuck, you can put what number here? You can distribute a -1. What does that become, class? Equals 15. Now, I do want to also note, there's two ways. You could have distributed, or you could have divided both sides by -1. Class, what was the other way we didn't do? So you could have had on your paper 6x minus 3 equals -15. And these two are actually equivalent, because the only difference is dividing or multiplying both sides by -1. And I do want to point out this one right here. This is the common Google textbook answer. You actually won't have all of that in red. But to me, over the years, it just explains how that happens. Okay, so pick one of these. We'll just do the distributing one, and you can just solve it. -6x equals what? Divided by -6, x equals -2. Your answer is x equals 3 or x equals -2. Let's check that. 6 times 3? 18 minus 3. Absolute value of 15. 15. Class, 6 times -2? -12 minus 3. And absolute value of -15? 15. So to review, make sure it's isolated. Split the argument to one positive, one negative, and then solve.